talk about this very interesting work of art. This is called, as a genre, Kalamkari, largely in present-day Andhra and Telangana, but very old. There are two centers for Kalamkari work. One is Srikalahasti and one is Machilipatnam. And in early years they were very different, but now some of the artists kind of, produce style from both places. The Srikalahasti style was more free hand, and I would say this is an example of that. Machilipatnam was more block printing. But what is fascinating is that this is painting of the Crucifixion. And there is an interesting backstory. Some years ago when I was in New York, I saw an exhibition on Armenia at the Met. And there was a beautiful crucifixion similar to this one. And it was part of the Armenia show, but sourced from India. And then I got down to reading and I realized that there were many ships that were plying between the Coromandel Coast and Persia and carrying textiles both for the Persian market as well as the Armenian markets. And interestingly, this was part of a kind of category of painting that obviously was in demand in Armenia. And of course, being a Christian nation, Armenian requests must have come for Christian themes. And you can see this is not just the crucifixion, but there are episodes from the life of Jesus. Here, for example, is Lazarus being raised from the dead. Here, for example, is the famous episode of Jesus, at the well, and the Samaritan woman giving him water. Here is the birth of Jesus. You can see the star of Bethlehem shining on him. And it's interesting because they intersperse the Indian iconography into the Christian iconography. Of course, in terms of the stylized versions, everything is so Indian. The apsaras and angels and things like that. But what's interesting is they have Ganapati stuck in there. They have other parts of the village scenes which are very typical. Here there is the episode of the escape and flight to Egypt. So there's a lot of stuff here which is a wonderful amalgam of Christian and Indian iconography. And this kind of stuff was going from India hundreds of years ago to markets in Central Asia. And the artists today, and this is a work by a famous artist called Kailasam, who lives in Hyderabad, and who was introduced to me by a professor who's worked with them for the better part of 3 decades. And for them, I didn't have to explain anything. I said I want a painting bit of this nature because I had seen it at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and he said, yes, we do this kind of work and we've been doing so for eons. And it took him about 6 months to do. It was a slow process because he used to share the imagery with me. This was a commission, but a commission on a theme that he was already aware of. It's a very, very elaborate process. They say that there are probably 20 to 25 stages in any painting. So the preparation of the cloth, the application of the mordant, the paint in layers. So each color is layered, and then the painting is, the cloth is washed, sometimes in still water, sometimes in running water. Then it's dried, and then next a coat of different color of paint is put on, and so on. So there are enough videos on YouTube for you to see the process, and I would urge all of you to see that. But what is fascinating is that this thing has been around at least 400 years, 500 years, because Tavernier, when he was lost once, stuck for a ship to come to India in Persia, he actually boarded the Sultan of Golconda's ship, which was waiting in Iran to return to India. And he was saying in his notes that the ship plies regularly between the east coast of India and Iran, carrying textiles mainly for the Persian market and the Armenian market. And of course, I'm sure the Armenians influenced the kind of work they saw on their, or they wanted to see on their paintings, and therefore paintings like this became fashionable.